crawl again, and I just got out of work, and this is video game hunt, by the way, just in case you didn't know. But yeah, so I do have a few Wii U games and one Sega Saturn game that I picked up last week. This is during the time I already showed off everything with the Wii U games and with the Universal title. I'm telling you right now that all that video game buys and Universal belt really put a huge dent in my wallet. But I definitely wanted that Universal title. Like I say, it's a lot better looking belt in person than it is on TV. Like I said, I think if it was the SmackDown version, I probably, unless it was cheap, let's say if it was $50, then sure. 100, I would think about it, but it wouldn't take too long to think about it, because if I'm gonna get it, I better get it immediately. And two, obviously, if I want to get that, it has a chance for it to be gone. Because when I picked up the World Heavyweight Championship Big Gold at Vintage Stock, it was on the same mannequin where I bought that Universal title. It was actually just dressed up as Cobra Commander, but it was hidden under his vest. It was like half of it was kind of poking out, and if I didn't put a good look at it, I went by it and I saw the Hardcore Championship going across the chest, and like I said, under his vest was the World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm going to do the same rounds I've been doing lately. I'm going to hit this one Vintage Stock, and then I'm going to go to the video game store. Maybe or maybe not the Vintage Stock right beside that one, because that one's been really almost have nothing at all anymore. And then I need to go to Harbor Freight, because I know people who use tools getting cheapo tools. Well, there's some tools you gotta learn what's good to get from Harbor Freight or from a big chain. Like wrenches and sockets, you can get that from Harbor Freight and be fine, because they can exchange that. Oh, they're ratchet wrenches. I would suggest not to pick that up, because or at least the ones with the plastic handles. No, don't pick those up. Those are garbage. But usually the air drills and the air grinder, I would usually pretty happy. I mean, they're not too expensive. I had this air grinder probably at least 4 to 5 years now, and it finally just shit the bed today. Anytime I really need to heavy duty grind, I would use that. If it's just a minor cutting or grinding, I would use my battery powered Milwaukee grinder. But when that air grinder shit the bed, fuck, I actually totally just Oh, no, actually, no. I was about to say I totally missed my turn. But no, that's if I wanted to go straight to the game store. I wanted to go to the vintage stock first. So, I was like, I am going to go around, though. You gotta be careful with these dump trucks. But I can't. I was using my Milwaukee grinder, and I kept on had to switch out batteries, and I was grinding up aluminum, doing aluminum patches on flooring, doing some grinding out old welds that cracked, and lay some welds on top of that. I'm not as savvy with the aluminum MIG welder yet. I'm getting a little better. Not as good as I am with MIG welding and regular MIG welding, and then what's called stick welding, and flux core welding. And what flux core welding is like MIG welding, just without the gas, because the wire is coated with the gas. It's coated by the shielding. And aluminum is really hard to weld with. It's a bitch. You gotta be careful because it will melt easily, especially if it's very thin. Especially like when you get heavier metal, you're welding heavier aluminum plate to a little thinner. It's sometimes you gotta make sure you put more weld on the thicker than on the thinner, or you're gonna blow holes. But we'll see what's out there. Well, like I said, the major one I need to do is actually two things. I gotta get a new air grinder, and I gotta get new sleeves, welder sleeves, because the ones I got are just ratty as hell. They're falling apart, and they're cheap. If you have the money, I would suggest to get the welding coat leathers. But if you're in a pinch, those sleeves are good. So I'm actually close to, I'm not sure I ever told this story, but this bank office that's just catty corner from me, my ex-girlfriend, not the one people kind of know my ex-girlfriend about, but our ex-girlfriend, a long time ago, she used to work over there, and this is when I was working at Sears. I think well, this is the same one that I moved in an apartment, and it was bad. But during lunchtime at Sears, I would have to take her from the apartment into her job site, or it was before work. I would have to leave the apartment and drop her ass off. Guess she didn't have no fucking vehicle. So, but that woman, that was one of my biggest regrets, dating that woman. And only that, and I'm not talking about Melissa. She's a great woman. So don't think that's the person I'm talking about. This person is. Go ahead, I got this guy too. It's a freaking parade of. I was going to say the R word, but I'm going to let it go. But yeah, the woman I'm telling you is not Melissa, so don't you guys fake that. So I'm going to go hit finish stock. You can kind of see in the background, kind of. Well, guys, I just got out the first one. And the first one had some stuff. But it was cool. I picked up a NES, what is it called? an NES satellite. Yeah, an NES satellite. Pretty much what you do, it's a wireless thing. You put this and plug it into your NES. I'm sure it works on the top loader. It's so if you can want to stretch back instead of being so close to the TV. So it's, I've seen these before, and I saw it for $12. I was like, hell yeah, that's a good price. Especially vintage stock price. Yeah, that was a good price. So, they have a ton of consoles and games. Obviously, you guys saw a bunch of the games. But I figure, hey, you guys hadn't took any footage recently with inside stores. Well, a lot of times I'm wearing a different work shirt. But, I figured, hey, you know what? It's been a while, so let's do some footage. I love the app where it's recording, but the screen is turned off. But I saw what was crazy. I ran into a guy who used to do some, well, I would say business with, but I mean, from my old job, we had to get parts from this parts store. And it's like, why does this guy looks familiar? I thought maybe he's an employee at a different vintage stock, that he's just happened to go over there. I was like, that's why I really thought that was perfect. Then I looked at his shirt and I was like, oh, okay, now I know. And I said something. I said, hey, you still go to the shop every once in a while? I was like, yeah. It's like, I told him that they canned me recently because they want to hire cheap help. And then I hate when people are like driving side by side with me. But, so we just chatted a little bit. He's like, I thought you looked familiar. And he's like, he looked at my patch, and he's like, well, that doesn't look right. It was like, no, I used to work at this place. Did I get honked at? What the fuck was that? I really thought I just heard honking. But maybe I'm just hearing things. So we just chatted a little bit, talked to him about my old foreman. Good guy. But the guy was getting overworked. He was a foreman, pretty much doing the manager job as well. At the same time, he was working on the shop floor, so he was stretched thin. I don't blame him for, like, he used to do drugs and alcohol, so I don't blame him from cracking, because I would have cracked a lot faster than he did. He had more willpower than I would have. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really hurt feelings. Like, I'm gonna cry when they said, we're gonna have to let you go. Because that same day, I was like thinking to myself, I was inside the shop parts room, and I was pissed off about something. I said to myself, it's like, God, I just wish I can reach out both my arms and just knock everything on the ground and just leave. I'm like, I would love to do that. But I got fired for the stupidest reasons. I told this before, where I was doing floor work. I'm going to say it real quick. I'm doing floor work. And it was in the front of the trailer, and the truck was hooked up. Or what we call, a lot of places call it yard dog. Sometimes they'll call a trailer jockey vehicle yard dog, or they'll call a semi a yard dog. I thought it was just at the first place, but for the last 30 shops I've been, they call it a yard dog. But so I moved the truck out from underneath the trailer and parked it. That was it. And I got fired for that. Reasoning was, there was a couple accidents, and I'm 11 years experience. I had one accident of moving trailers. The place was crowded, too many people parking their cars and where they should be parked in different spots in parking lot instead of blocking up the bays. Plus I had someone riding with me so I was weaving around trailers, and the guy was like, oh, watch out. And by the time I clipped this truck. Fuck, I thought it was done. I thought that truck was totaled. The trailer had almost no damage. But I was understandable, and honestly, I had to go do a drug test, and shit happens. Honestly, what I would say, best thing to do, go back to the story. So, and I wasn't the only one who ever did any damage. Someone, like the manager, was moving something around and hit someone's car. So, granted, so that was the reason so certain people can move the truck. I was like, there's a couple times they're like, oh yeah, no one should be driving the truck without being authorized. But I was like, I thought that meant driving the truck with the trailer on it. All I was doing is moving the truck from out from underneath the trailer because I didn't want the truck be cluttered with a bunch of wood on it and went park it. So they used that as an excuse to get rid of me. I cannot totally understand when I made my accident they could have got rid of me for that. I would understand. I was scared because I was like, fuck. But no, honestly, I had to go do a drug test, and I wasn't really worried about that because I don't do anything. But, I really say that they just want to hire cheap help, because once they got rid of me, there was a lot of new people when I went to pick up my stuff. And not only that, it was a couple of weeks later. I may have left my toolbox there for a month, because a lot of times what I like to do is I'll find a job pretty quickly, and I would move that toolbox to another shop. I never really had to bring the toolbox home. But, yeah, they were hiring all new help all the time. And not only that, they'll take parts people and slowly, instead of, cleaning up the shop, doing parts, and every once in a while give us a hand if we need something, instead of stopping another mechanic to give you help. Eventually the shop would do stupid shit like, oh yeah, they'll start having them stop doing parts or cleaning up the shop and start working on trailers. And I believe it's DOT that you need to be working on this stuff for a year before you can start inspecting trailers. I mean, I've been doing this shit since 2008. So I had over 14 years experience now. Just over 14 years now. 3 at the previous job, 2 at the current job, and I'm hoping to stay at this place because even though I might get frustrated every once in a while, there's going to be frustrations everywhere, and I really do like the place I'm at now. There's more plus than negative, I would say. I might get a little, like I said, might get a little frustrated, but I ultimately like this job better. And I'm mainly, a lot of times, I'm inside. Especially lately, I'm more inside, so I'm more in weather controlled, and I don't mind doing some stuff outside. Every once in a while, there is a plus doing that too, because I can play my music a little louder. I can play my podcast a little louder. You gotta be more courteous to other people with the radio. You can have it where you can hear it, but don't blast it. Today, one of the guys was blasting it, and I was like, of course, look, freaking bullshit. Well, I guess someone told them, because I'm not gonna say, hey, go to the manager and say, hey, you tell him to turn it down. Or I'm not gonna go to him and say, hey, you need to turn your shit down, because he could look at me and say, you ain't my boss. I'm like, you're right, I ain't. But yeah, today I did a lot of welding and grinding, and I gotta do more of that tomorrow, and then do some floor patches. And right now I did a couple aluminum floor patches. Now I gotta do a couple wood panels in the flooring. I was about to do that after lunch. After the last break. Because I was getting sick of wearing my sleeves and heavy gloves. Because it was getting hot. I don't know where the hell this person was trying to do. I know I was trying to get in here. But yeah, like I say, I'm mostly grateful for the place I'm at right now. Because, yeah, I can play my music. Like I say, if I'm inside, my stuff is a lot closer. I can keep stuff the way I want it. I usually like to try to keep my areas a little cleaner and places where you can walk by and not creating trip hazards. A lot of times I have to kick my neighbor. I'm talking about my neighbor. I'm talking my work neighbor. His shit over so I can have places to walk around. Because he's very messy. But, actually, I'm going to drop off my RCA Studio 2 to get worked on. So I'll see you guys in a few. guys later. Thank you. Bye.